Sheila, what is this whole thing about early stimulation and why is it important for adopted children?
So, early stimulation actually refers to a whole set of activities that help children to develop optimally. Okay. There are 5 domains of child development. Physical or locomotor development, speech and language development, cognitive development, social development, and emotional development. Now, for a child to develop optimally in all these 5 sub areas, we need to really do a lot of work with children.
Okay.
And this is nothing to do with adopted children. Let me make that clear at the start. This is something we do with all children for optimal development. So, the activities that are done in preschool, for example, whether it is beading and coloring and finger painting, which is about fine motor skills and locomotor development, or shapes, sizes, colors, and so on for cognitive development, storytelling and so on, which is for emotional and speech development. So there's a bunch of activities like that.
Yes.
The more we do these activities, the better children's abilities will develop. And not doing these activities can result in serious problems for children, because there will be developmental gaps and deficits, and children may be born with perfectly normal abilities, but when there is a lack of opportunities for learning and lack of early stimulation, then there is a tendency to develop learning issues, behavioral oddities, poor social skills, and so on. So early stimulation needs to be done for every child, any child. But where adopted children are concerned, it takes on a special importance. And that is because children who are adopted are from families that are in difficult circumstances. We don't know where a given child comes from. A child may have been orphaned, may have been abandoned, may have been abused or neglected.
Okay.
And so they have not received a lot of these opportunities in their early lives.
Okay.
And they have received very little early stimulation in all probability from their biological or birth parents. When they come to the institution, now while an institution may be quite good in terms of providing for a child's material needs, shelter, food, healthcare, and so on, the fact is that in most childcare institutions, very little early stimulation work is done with children. That's because there are so many children and relatively few caregivers, and caregivers are so overwhelmed in the institution, as we know, with administrative tasks and just the sheer physical care of children, that they're left with very little time to do these other play activities and so on. So, when children come to institutions, while they may certainly be better off in terms of material needs, these early stimulation needs are still not there to the extent that they should be.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why in the pre-adoption phase, we talked about assessments in one of our earlier sessions.
Yeah, developmental assessment.
That's right. So one of the reasons why that developmental assessment, the first early initial developmental assessment that is done with the child, and the report that a prospective adoptive parent may receive, may show that the child has certain gaps and deficits, could also be because of understimulation. I'm not saying that that is the only reason, but in most cases that is a very big reason why children show inadequate abilities in these 5 key developmental domains. So when a child is adopted, adoptive parents need to make special efforts and invest a lot of time doing all these activities, playing, hand activities, singing, storytelling, exposure to all sorts of sensory materials like rattles and bells and colors and sand play and this whole range, so that these children who have erstwhile missed opportunities for growth and development can now catch up as much as possible. And that's why early stimulation, although important for all children, have a special importance for two categories of children. One is children with disabilities, developmental disabilities, and the other is for children who are being adopted and may have certain developmental deficits, however mild they may be. It is useful to do very intensive early stimulation work with them. In fact, we have a little list of activities which we will present to you now.